starts with the sun, our resident celestial star, or the heart of our solar system. Sitting at 93 million miles away, its light shines bright enough to blind us if we gaze upon it for too long. Unfortunately, many of us live our lives ignorant to the fact that the sun does a lot more than just give us light. I understand though, as you tend to not notice the one thing you've been told not to stare at, and sadly, it becomes a case of out of sight, out of mind. Oddly enough, as humans, we can easily recognize that Earth, aka the world, is bigger than us, which makes it easier for us to focus on, with the irony being that the sun, appearing both further away and smaller in the distance, actually being much larger and more dominant than Earth. And to illustrate this point, I'll give you a few frames of reference in terms of how massive it is in size, distance, and capability. Starting with distance, as I find it to be the most interesting. Again, the sun is 93 million miles away. For your average male at 5'9" tall, it would take roughly 2,200 steps to walk a single mile. Now, if he were to walk from the Earth to the sun, it would take him approximately 205 billion steps to complete the journey. But how long would it actually take him? Well, if we factor in the fact that the average walking speed is approximately 3 miles per hour, and let's say he walks 24 miles per day, it would take him approximately 10,500 years to complete the journey. Now, pondering the sun's size and scale is one of the quickest ways for anyone to feel small. Small being an understatement. And when it comes to spherical objects, the diameter is often a reference point as it directly relates to the object's size. We know that the Earth's diameter is approximately 8,000 miles across, but that doesn't seem like much as the average American citizen drives approximately 14,000 miles per year. So, it's safe to say that every year we drive distances longer than the diameter of Earth, and this fact alone could make the world seem just a bit smaller than it actually is. In fact, if you were to journey in a straight line through the center of Earth, traveling at 60 miles per hour, it would only take you about 5.5 days to reach the other side. However, when we factor in the sun's diameter, coming in at approximately 860,000 miles across, the Earth's size begins to feel irrelevant. Furthermore, if we attempted the same trip as we took here on Earth, but through the center of the sun, it would take 1.5 years to complete the journey. And just note that the time calculated for both trips is representative of non-stop driving. Our pale blue dot is tiny, which makes us microscopic in comparison to the sun. So while the Earth can actively fit all 7 billion of us on it, the sun could fit approximately 1.3 million Earths within it. As I've mentioned earlier, the sun is the heart of our solar system, permeating a gravitational pull that keeps Earth and its siblings relatively close. Cascading rays of sunshine that grant us the ability to live and thrive on this very planet, even if those very rays require us to squint after traveling millions of miles to reach our eyes. The sun's capability is truly immense. In fact, if we wanted to replicate the brightness of the sun using 100-watt light bulbs, the amount of light bulbs needed is absolutely staggering. 3.8 septillion light bulbs would be needed to accomplish this. To put this number in perspective, that's more light bulbs than stars in the observable universe. Earth has a few siblings that many of us don't ponder about often. So I'll treat this next section, and the one after, as an introduction to those planets, in an effort to help you understand Earth's closest siblings. Mercury, the smallest planet with a diameter of only 3,000 miles, is the closest planet to the Sun, being approximately 42 million miles away. And being that Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, it would be easy to believe that it would be the hottest planet in our solar system. However, it isn't. Due to its size, Mercury doesn't have an atmosphere, and without one, it cannot retain heat, with most of it escaping into the vacuum of space. Fun fact, a day on Mercury lasts 58 Earth days due to the fact that it is tidally locked, meaning the Sun's gravity prevents it from spinning quickly. Venus, the second planet from the Sun, and the hottest planet in our solar system, with an average surface temperature of 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Although Venus is often referred to as Earth's twin due to them being extremely similar in size, they couldn't be further apart in reference to their characteristics. Venus has a much more dense and violent atmosphere, trapping heat from the Sun, which is why the planet is so hot. Not only does Venus spin in the opposite direction of Earth, causing the Sun to rise from the west and set in the east, a day on Venus lasts longer than the planet takes to orbit the Sun due to its gravitational pull. Mars, the fourth planet from the Sun, and the only other planet in our solar system that's had similar characteristics to Earth in reference to supporting life. It's believed that Mars had a robust atmosphere in the past, but due to its small size, its magnetic field was too weak to protect its atmosphere from being blown away by solar winds. At one point, Mars and Earth looked pretty similar, and had Mars been similar in size to Earth, we could be taking 4-year journeys to visit our Martian neighbors. In fact, Mars cooled down after its formation much quicker than Earth, which means that it was suitable for life much sooner as liquid water did flow in its early days. However, it's hypothesized that Mars suffered an impact from a moon-sized asteroid that could have blasted microorganisms into space that landed on our planet, eventually forming life, ultimately making us Martians. This next set of planets are what's known as gas giants. Unlike the terrestrial planets, gas giants have no surfaces and are completely made up of various types of gases held together. Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system, with a diameter of approximately 86,000 miles across. Now, with Jupiter not having a surface, is it possible to jump in at the top and fall all the way through to the bottom? Let's just say that the experience would be extremely unpleasant. But to answer the question directly, no. The immense pressure created by the seemingly endless atmosphere would crush you within an hour of falling. And that's if your spacesuit could prevent radiation poisoning on top of supplying you with enough oxygen. Saturn, easily one of the most beautiful planets in our solar system, due to its alluring rings that extend almost 200,000 miles away from the planet. Generally, when people think about Saturn, they mostly think about its rings. But there's a few more things that make it one of the most interesting planets in our solar system. You see, Saturn has an extremely low density, so low that it's less than the average density of water. This means that if you had a body of water large enough, Saturn could float on top of it. Also, Saturn has over 50 moons, and one of them, named Enceladus, has liquid water and heat, ingredients for the creation of life. Uranus, one of 2 ice giants, and the planet most famous for its unique name and spin. Uranus spins on its side, and it's theorized that this occurred when it collided with an Earth-sized object. Due to its tilt, Uranus is the coldest planet in our solar system, averaging a temperature of approximately -320 degrees Fahrenheit. The interesting part about this is that Uranus is the second to last planet in the solar system and the coldest, and yet Venus is the second planet from the Sun and the hottest. Neptune, the second ice giant and furthest planet in our solar system, being 2.7 billion miles away from the Sun. Known for its devastating winds, averaging speeds of 1,300 miles per hour, these winds break the sound barrier here on Earth. And for an additional frame of reference, some of the fastest recorded wind speeds on Earth have only been between 200 and 240 miles per hour. Our solar system is a collection of 4 terrestrial planets, 4 gas giants, and 1 star, everything having its own unique quirks. The Sun is the glue that holds everything together. Mercury is tiny enough to be a moon, but too massive not to be a planet. Venus is Earth's twin in relation to its size and the hottest planet in our solar system. Earth is the reason why you're watching this video. Mars was the first candidate for life. Jupiter is the first gas giant and largest planet in our solar system. Saturn is famous for its ring system and it's less dense in water. Uranus spins on its side and is the coldest planet. And Neptune has winds that break the sound barrier. The next time we visit space, we'll be discussing things beyond our solar system, such as stars that are 1,700 times the diameter of our Sun, galaxies, nebulas, black holes, supervoids, and anything else in the observable universe.